God, we're doing spoilers the shit out of this movie.
Well, most of the reviews are like that,
But I guess the second half of this, the part that's not a review, we're calling criticism, right?
Right.
And so this is a conversation about the film, hopefully with people who have already seen the movie. So if you haven't seen the movie,
please go see it.
I'm questioning your life choices at this point.
You're not quite as an adult as you think you are.
So this is Cameron. You have nerd credentials here that are more specialized than mine in this specific arena, and so I wanted you to go off on. Well, I don't know. What did you think of the movie?
It was incredible. You know, you always have to worry about the cinematic and comic differences, and it was just so well designed and so well themed that you're like, I like this better. Like a lot better. Yeah, just everything from the visuals to the soundtrack was surprising. Super surprising. It was like trap music and opera. It was like like crazy. Like I loved it. So you can't really do much better. And they also broke the formula of bad guy, good guy fights bad guy. Like bad guy actually has a moral purpose.
Yeah, I think I'll also say that this movie has by far the most interesting bad guy from the Marvel universe.
Yeah, hands down.
I mean, I think he can compete with the Joker from The Dark Knight.
Oh, easily. One
thing that we both loved about the movie was the political angle. That there was political content to the film. And did you want to speak to that at all?
It's a very relevant subject at this time, and it also threw me off at the same time because coming into the movie, I never suspected it would go that way. Like I knew as a black person and other black people were excited, but it posed a question that. You're like, oh, if Wakanda were real, we probably would have a problem with this. Like, I would think it would be maybe like the original antagonist, Claw, would be the bad guy. And you're like, oh man, I didn't see this coming, but that's so true. Those jerks abandoned us.
Well, but okay, but you know my response to that because I think that's an unfair indictment of Wakanda because in both the movie and in the I'm not the only Wakandas that I've seen are the
animated series.
The animated series that was on BET and this Wakanda and the Wakanda from I didn't read enough of the comics for me to really for me really to. But in both the animated series and in the movie, Claw is able to break into Wakanda, kill people, and walk off with a half a ton of vibranium. And to walk off with a half a ton of anything, let alone
that's pretty intense.
I mean, so I don't think. I think Wakanda has like legitimate concerns about. I think when people are when T'Chaka was when T'Chaka is concerned about the national security of Wakanda, I don't think that those securities are unjustified. I don't think that because it's clear that they are not. They might be the most advanced nation in the world, but they are not impervious to assault.
Right. They have a lot to lose throughout the whole history. Granted, their like security gets better and better through time. But even T'Chaka or his ancestors probably had more to lose, and the world probably would have developed very different if vibranium fell into the other nation's hands.
Right.
So there was a lot to lose just with someone even knowing they had it. Like, it could shift everything if, say, the Nazis from Captain America had the vibranium earlier. So it's kind of really important to their world that they kept it to themselves and kind of made it seem as if they were not even existent because it was better for them. Plus, the secret of the Black Panther and the heart-shaped herb and things. People, there's so many vulnerabilities, and security in that time was good with T'Challa, but maybe not as good with T'Chaka or his ancestors.
But yeah, I did love the shit out of the movie, and the Killmonger, like I said, was one of my favorite villains of all time. One of my other favorite characters was M'Baku,
Yes.
the mountain gorilla. I mean, there's so many characters. I mean, one of the things that I love about this movie is that there's so many characters that made such fantastic entrances.
Yes.
And M'Baku did that twice.
What a beast.
Had just, and yeah, I love the way that these movies treated a lot of their characters.
Everyone had very three-dimensional personalities and very strong beliefs that they held to. And like you said, M'Baku just constantly came in with a bang. Every time he came in, it was just strong presence. And like even having such a cause as from the beginning, their tribe wanting to and never succeeding, never really seemed maliceful, just disinterested. Like when they went for help, for example. He was like,
Mind you, I say all this, and I still love the shit out of the movie.
Yeah.
And think everyone should see it. And I think that this movie is a moment in American cinematic history.
Yes, it was very necessary for so many reasons. I have had this conversation 1,000 times.
Make it 1001.
Like even with T'Challa's guard, seeing like powerful, important Black women, like is so important right now because I think they have role models. They have like tennis players and rappers and things like that, but they're showing them in positions of power. Even in a fake society, they're in positions of power. They are the closest guard to the king.
Right.
There are no men in their guard, just them.
Right.
And they hold a very important role, which some of them in the movie died for.
Right.
Because Killmonger slit one of their throats.
Right.
So that's an image that needs to be played over and over. Cause
of Black women in strong positions of power.
Right. And not just in like political like sense, but like almost a superhero sense. There are not really many Black female superheroes. There are a lot of the reasons this movie needed to happen. More than just for cinema, I think. And that's why the movie's so powerful. Because it was cinematic and it was a great moment in actual movie history, but it jumped leaps and bounds over things that have never happened before. And probably in most instances won't happen again.
What do you mean?
Like, there may be a time where they make more female superheroes, but to have female Black superheroes, but there will never be a collective like that again.
But you see, but that I disagree with that. I think I feel like since this movie has proven that this works,
right? Since
this movie has proven that it's people love it, since this movie has proven that it's profitable, then other people, then hopefully that this movie is. Look,
like to think
if this is the last time we see this. And then this movie isn't historical. Then this is just a footnote.
I'm not talking about exclusive to the Black Panther moniker and series. I'm talking about like in like comic books and in like cinema, where you'll have it be so perfect and contextual. Because that's the thing is they're there, but they're not there to make a point. They're just there because they have duty. So it was very natural. It wasn't like. They weren't put there to we need strong Black women. No, T'Challa's guard were always Black women. This was no sort of going with what's going on in the world.
There's nothing that felt politically correct
right.
or awkwardly intentional about right. this movie.
Exactly.
Which is amazing, actually.
Yeah, everything came across as smooth. And we've seen other reviewers say that they liked that the movie wasn't preachy because everything was inward and contextual while still giving you, like, this is a problem. Like, and it wasn't preachy or spoon-feedy. You just were kind of like, since they're going through this might actually be a big deal.
Right.
Right, and that's what made it enjoyable, because it wasn't preachy.
And I guess, well, all right. This is, and I guess this is where I slightly disagree, because I don't think, I think movies can have a message and be calls to change, you know, without being tedious. And I think that's part of the reason why, you know, I have this objection with Everett Ross, and it's part of the reason why I think that, you know, Killmonger's objection, you know, the whole movie's objection to Wakanda's abstentionism in these fights for liberation, I think is a little unfair, since Wakanda doesn't exist. It was literally impossible for Wakanda to get involved in, say, the apartheid struggle in South Africa, or in the civil rights movement, or the fight to abolish slavery in the U.S. I mean, even though I think that there's in-universe explanations for why they couldn't or shouldn't have done that, I think that it's walking out of the movie. It doesn't challenge any of the ways that I think about politics, or about imperialism, or about America's role in the oppression of other countries, or any of that. And I think that's in a movie that's so much about that, to not challenge any of the thinking there, I think is it's a shortcoming.
Okay, like, I get what you're saying. It could have been way more straightforward about the fact of challenging imperialism.
No. I mean, I think we're sort of agreeing to disagree here. I mean, you're saying,
yeah.
You're saying that it's good that it wasn't preachy, and I'm saying that it
could have been.
It went through extraordinary hoops to not say things that I think
needed to be said.
Especially given, you know, what we were talking about.
Right. All right. Okay. Well,
actually, now that I say that, Killmonger's first line, it's like, oh, don't worry about it. I'll take this off your hands. How are you? It's like, what? This isn't for sale.
For sale. Yeah.
Oh, you think your people paid for this?
Right.
No. I'm gonna take it the same way you got it.
Right.
Yeah. Enjoy your coffee.
Right. Or there was more like, you have all these people watching around you, but you won't watch what you put in your body.
Right. That was
pretty intense.
Yeah, I love the shit out of that character.
And his last line, where's my phone? His last line, the bury me in the ocean with the bodies of my ancestors.
Oh yes. He doesn't. He refuses medical help from Wakanda, because he's like, why? So I could spend my life in bondage? No.
Yeah, no.
Bury me in the ocean
with the bodies of my ancestors who were smart to know to jump from ships, because death was better than
a life of bondage.
Life of bondage, yeah.
Yes, by far and away my favorite villain out of the Marvel universe.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you so much for joining me on this video.
'Twas fun.
Thanks for watching. Like or dislike, as the case may be. Subscribe. Leave us a comment. What did you think about the movie? Check out my 60-second review on the left, and our criticism of Marvel's love fest with the CIA on the right.